A lot of flows happening back and forth. We just had the ADP come out. It was a little light. I would think that'd be good for the small caps and be good for rates, but we'll see. Bunch of shaking and baking. You know the drill. Take a look at the disclosure. We'll get to it. My name is Scott Redler. I'm the Chief Strategic Officer of T3Live.com. Welcome to today's morning call. So we'll see what today brings. Right now the SPYs are up. Now they're down 14 cents after a very weak ADP. It is 8:18. This is real time. I guess we'll see if the SPYs hold 615-ish. It's got to hold 615-ish to keep this upper flag intact. If it doesn't, then you have the 8-day and you have the prior high area. We'll see. Qs might be a little weaker, another day in a row, which is not the worst thing in the world considering, we have, wouldn't mind refueling a little bit here, right? Qs broke below a prior low. So what does that mean? It means that, it was a little weaker than the SPYs yesterday. You can see it right here. Broke below. The 8 days right there. Here's 541.50 below it. So we'll see how that goes. 8 days right there. 540.80, 541.50. That's a decent spot. Anyway, so we'll see what happens to the Qs 2 days in a row. IWM you would think is a little bit better with this. It was higher. It's only up 38 cents now, but anyway, the TLTs are down 60 cents. You would kind of think they'd be up, but they're not. Qs are coming. IWM's coming in a little bit, so we'll see how this goes. I would think that we'll see what I think. Maybe I'm not. I don't know here. SPYs are down 20 cents. IWM is only up 45 cents. Where are the Qs? Qs are down 80 cents, 90 cents. Yeah, Qs probably will be affected the worst, you would think, but we'll see. Anyway, with that being said, we'll see how this shakes out a little bit. XBI, don't know. All I know is I bought a little bit of $86 calls just in case the money wanted to rotate still. So we'll see if that's the case here or not. Then you go to setups. So they did hit some leaders yesterday, and some laggards held in better. Some middle tier names were fine also. We'll see what happens there, if that continues or not. Things are moving around. Things are moving around a little bit. SPYs, in the Qs. But again, it's not going to truly change the narrative except for maybe Trump's going to get a little louder and call Powell out again. But we'll see. We'll see. All right, as far as setups, Apple, I feel like we've had 5 different setups literally in the last week. Started off with NVIDIA, 146 to 158, Amazon, 208 to 223, Google, 170 to 181, and then this week, Apple, started buying calls on Friday, stock Monday, still in some stock, just trimmed some, and Apple right now is, where is Apple? Up 288. That's nice. So Apple's right above the prior high. I'm still in some. It's helping my day. I still think I can get to 214.55. I'm going to try and stay the course. You have the AI news, and now there's news that they're going to come out finally with that foldable phone. Remember I was telling you guys about that? It should have a foldable phone, something new, something different than this, which is just the same phone on the 18th version. So anyway, we'll see how it goes. There's room there, definitely. I'm still in the 12 waiting. So now I'll wait further because my phone's just fine. I want the foldable phone so I could do a little bit more work on it, so I could watch TV in my bed. I rarely watch my 60, 70, 80-inch TVs. Just don't do it. It's just really funny. Or you're on a plane. Anyway, I like my friend's Samsungs. I just don't want to be in the Samsung community. But anyway, so Apple looks good. It's hard to buy on day 3 up. Just don't short it. Amazon, does it hold 218-ish? That'd be a good buy if it does. I did sell some strength. I did it yesterday too. Sell strength, buy a dip. It needs to hold 218 to be constructive, or at least make it easier. Google needs to hold 173.50. We were buyer here, seller, buyer. That's the way you rotate through. I think Meta, was one of the Meta and Netflix were like probably the most extended, so they got hit pretty hard. I would think if you can get this 705, 708 area. It's a good spot to buy back, especially if you sold up there. Netflix is hard, but it also had its upper channel break. See if it holds yesterday's low. If not, maybe this 1248 to 1260 area if you trade Meta well. So some things might come into areas that are good little swing areas if that's the case, if you're looking for swings or if you're looking just for day trades. Anyway, like Nvidia is down $1.50. It's right at this 151.49. I'm actually only in options, not in shares. I'll look to see if I could buy it there. If not, they could definitely shake the tree a little bit towards 149-ish. Breaks the 8-day. I haven't been below the 8-day in a while, so if that doesn't hold, that's going to shake some things up. So Nvidia could be viable versus that spot, I think. Anyway, with that being said, let's move on. Qs. What's the TLTs doing? TLTs are coming up a little bit. Well, crypto's up this morning. SPYs are getting a little hit now. Well, I don't need to be in the indice itself. I don't understand anyway why it's happening. They're going to start talking a little stagflation. So hold on. Anyway, sorry about that. Yeah. All right. So 151.49. Some guys are saying they'd like to know some levels on Micron, considering in the big beautiful bill, there's going to be some tax benefits for those with U.S. plants, and Micron is one of those. So from 129 to 119, that's a spot. We'll see. We shall see. That's MU. SMCI gave a little bit of a move in semiconductor land, went to 50, 57 to trim. Now it's got to hold 46-ish. If it doesn't, I would just be done with that thing. Like I said before, a lot of the leaders were hit, so we'll see what's what. Does Palantir, remember the rebalance, it was sold, and then I told you guys 137, 138, it went to 138.80. It was a better sell than a buy, and then look at that yesterday. Broke 130, hit 128.50. Now I would think that the 50-day could be buyable if it wants to hang around, but we'll see. That's PLTR. What's it doing this morning? It's now down 50 cents, which is kind of better than being up. But either which way, interesting. So another one that got hit that was Dash was one of our favorites. I was out of it as of these days and missed. That person's like, Red Dog, you're out of it. I'm like, it's a little extended. So now 236.50 is the 8-day. I would think this 226 to 231 should hold, but we'll see. These are like leaders that are getting hit that we got to figure out where they go. Anyway, crypto, those guys are good. They pretty much hit things down just enough, to get some people out. But right, it's right back. I did stick with my options in Mr. and IBIT, and I'm gonna probably buy more. I don't know if I'm going to buy IBIT itself. I'm just going to add to some of the options. The options I stayed with, it did hold 104. It's got to get above this 108 and really, really hold it with authority for it to be a July 4th Bitcoin weekend. Mr. was tough also. Look at that candle, just freaking tough. So I'm still in MS2 calls. I'm not playing Mr. itself, but we'll see how much of this candle it takes back. Usually gives you some clues. What else? I did get stopped out of ACHR. I have some options on. We'll revisit, see what happens here next. It's still fine. It's just taking its time, I guess. It's just a pain in the butt. So this happened back below the moving averages. I have to get out when that happens. Same thing with RDW. I'll stick with some calls just to stay a little bit engaged. I'm still in QBTS options also. It's just tricky. Their ATM is over. It's just a matter of, how does tech hold up and how does the market hold up and how does growth hold up. Anyway, that's that. Tesla has 9 o'clock. It's going to have its It's deliverables. Um, we had a really good trade here, and then it fell fast. And Tesla's fast, so it's great when it's great. That's why it's great when you're long, because it goes up fast, and when it's bad, you get out of the way fast. And it hit a low of 293. I have small calls on for deliveries. I'm not in the stock. It's not an overfocus. If it's better than feared, some people are like, where could it go? Well, I guess it could kind of fill this gap if it wanted to, or maybe even a little bit up, depending on what it is. We'll see. Um, Either which way, it's July 2nd. There's a lot going on. Very fluid as far as the back and forth and the potential rotation stuff. So we'll see how it goes today, and we'll just be on our toes. That's all you can do is be on your toes. Don't ruin don't start off your first week of the third quarter in a crazy hole. Don't do too much. Don't ruin your holiday weekend. If you're away already, be away. Enjoy yourself. I think a lot of people had a great, first half or a great second quarter. If you did, have some gratitude for that, and just take it slow right now, because it's hard to tell. One day doesn't make a trend. 2 days doesn't make a sequence. We'll see how it goes. Good luck today, guys.